test the button. Okay. Oops. Right, so hold on to your hats, we're going to go really quickly. So I thought we'd start off our conversation this evening with the usual stuff, like what does Lithicon do and who are we? So, in a nutshell, we take rock from deep underground, we put it in a specialised X-ray machine that we built, we image it, we produce a 3D picture, and then we use Australia's largest supercomputer and lots of code to analyse it. We can then tell our clients, the world's largest energy companies, what's in the ground and how they might get it out. So we started life in 2009 as a company spun out of the ANU and UNSW, known as Digital Core, and then last year we merged with our Norwegian competitor to form a new company called Lithicon. We've raised over $16 million in equity in about 4 years. We've got over 40 employees. We've won a stack of awards. Finally, in February this year, we sold Lithicon to the NASDAQ-listed FEI company for $76 million. So that's a return of about 3 to 5 times for our investors. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the road, we can actually talk about something more serious, and that's the game Minesweeper. You see, when preparing for tonight's discussion, I was asked to talk about many things, but what I want to focus on is not telling you how to start a company or commercialise an invention, but rather how I've managed to make it this far without blowing myself up. Now, many years ago, I listened to a guy describe the tech transfer process as being like crossing a minefield, hence Minesweeper. So the idea is that by clicking on a square, you reveal the total number of adjacent mines. And it's this take one step, consider all your options, all the information at hand before you take the next. That's the key. So just like you can't create a complete plan for crossing the minefield or know where all the mines are, you can't completely plan your business either. So I spent months, days, weeks planning, and I had to get the investment, but within a few weeks it was all redundant. So things change really, really quickly, and if they're not changing quickly, then you're probably doing something wrong. So instead we adopted a lean approach. We talked to our customers, they told us what they wanted, we went and did it. Half the time we didn't know if we could, but we needed the money, we had smart people, so we said okay, and then we killed ourselves trying to do it. We took one square in the minefield at a time, and with each step the customer told us what products to develop and where the markets were. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. We learned really, really quickly and we made some money doing it. So the old days of developing these products in isolation, I don't think that works anymore. And the build them they will come approach, I think that's just way too risky. So now in all of this you have to remember our good friend Napoleon, maintain your lines of supply. And to do that, you need a really awesome crew of people. So not too big, start small and grow with the market. And in the early days of our business, we depended on what I call the sacred triangle of 3 key skill sets. So we had the person who connected the technology with the market, so they could speak both lingos. They also key in terms of what products we should develop, and I call that person the connector. Then we had another person who knew how to quickly develop the technology in response to customers' needs. That's key to this lean approach, and I call that person the technologist. And then we had the person who knew how to monetize and operationalise it all, and that person was the deal maker. Now, cash is king, absolute king when it comes to supply. So from day one, we were balancing cash conservation with growth, and there was this constant tension between the deal maker who wanted to charge more, the connector who's trying to convince the customers to proceed at rock bottom price, and the technologist who has a list as long as all of our arms in terms of what they want. So invariably, the rock bottom price won. The deal maker was unhappy and the technologist was told to get on with it on a shoestring. So the formula was really stressful, but it worked. We managed to generate customers, we managed to generate income, and the investors were happy enough to keep putting money in. Now I'll always remember the night after we made a particularly painful change to our management structure. I sat there looking at the figures for the first time and realised we were sort of pretty much almost broke. So I was horrified, terrified, guts going down to bottom type feeling. I don't know how I made it home that night, but I did. I crawled into bed, it was really late, and I woke my wife up and said, we're in trouble. And she looked up at me all dazed and she mumbled, "You'll be right," and went back to sleep. So it took months to rebuild after that, not my relationship, but the company. Cutting deals with creditors, we had to raise money on a down round, and many a sleepless night in contemplation of what the hell am I doing. In the end, it was the people that worked for me that pushed me through, as well as the promises I made to our creditors, and some of them are actually here tonight. So we got up and we moved forward. A rather unfortunate side effect in all of this is I seem to have developed a reputation amongst my staff of being somewhat tight-fisted. And if they were here tonight, they'd be using a different turn of phrase. Today, we're still in the minefield. We haven't made it across. We haven't uncovered all the mines. We haven't blown ourselves up either, but we've come bloody close. So starting a tech company, it's all about creation. You get to build something and you get to make a contribution to the lives of the people that work for you. Hopefully a positive one. The best and worst journey of your life. Thanks a lot.